The late afternoon rain drummed softly against the cafe windows, blurring the city lights outside into streaks of gold and gray. Inside, the air was warm, filled with the aroma of roasted coffee and faint jazz humming from the old speakers. At a corner table sat Daniel Hayes, a man whose name appeared in business headlines and luxury magazines, but who looked nothing like success now. His expensive navy suit was neatly pressed, his tie perfectly straight, yet his posture told a story of exhaustion. He sat alone, stirring a cup of black coffee that had gone cold an hour ago. To anyone else, he looked calm, maybe thoughtful, but inside Daniel felt hollow. The power, the millions, the penthouse overlooking the skyline, none of it filled the ache that came from losing his wife Amelia a year ago. They had always come to this little cafe on Fridays. She used to tease him for ordering the same bitter coffee every time. "You're a billionaire," she'd laugh, "and you still drink mud." Now he came alone, not for the coffee, but to sit in the place where her laughter once lived. The world saw him as untouchable. But here in this small cafe, he was just a man haunted by silence. Then the bell above the door jingled. A small girl, no older than 6, skipped in, her pink rain boots splashing against the tiles. Her curly hair was half damp, a stuffed rabbit clutched in one hand. Behind her, her mother tried to juggle a wet umbrella and a bag of groceries, glancing toward the counter to order. The girl's wide eyes wandered curiously around the cafe until they landed on him. Daniel hadn't noticed her. He was staring out the window, lost somewhere far away. The little girl tilted her head, studying him. Then, with a small frown, she walked straight across the cafe, the rabbit bouncing in her hand. Stopping beside his table, she looked up and asked softly, "Are you okay, sir?" Daniel blinked, startled. "What?" "You look sad," she said simply. "My mommy says when someone looks sad, you should ask them if they're okay." The words caught him off guard, disarming in their innocence. He opened his mouth, but no sound came out. He had been asked thousands of questions in his life, glared about deals, stocks, profits, but never that one. He swallowed. "I guess. I'm just tired." The girl frowned. "When I'm tired, Mommy gives me cookies. It always helps." For the first time in months, Daniel felt the corner of his mouth twitch into something almost like a smile. "Cookies, huh?" She nodded seriously. "Chocolate chip ones. They make people happy." Before he could say anything else, her mother hurried over, mortified. "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Sweetheart, you can't just bother people like that." "It's okay," Daniel said, raising a hand gently. "She's not bothering me." Her mother hesitated, recognizing the kindness in his tone. The little girl beamed up at him. "See, Mommy? He's okay now." Daniel chuckled, and in that small, quiet laugh, something inside him cracked open. He didn't know her name. He didn't know why this small stranger had spoken to him. But for the first time in a long, long while, the silence in his chest didn't hurt as much. A week later, the same cafe glowed in the soft morning light. The staff had grown used to Daniel, the quiet man who always sat alone. But today, something was different. On the table beside his coffee cup was a small plate with 2 chocolate chip cookies. He didn't know if the little girl would come again, but he hoped she would. And just as he was about to leave, the door chimed. The same child ran in, tugging her mother's hand excitedly. "Mommy, it's the man from last time." Her mother blushed, whispering, "Sweetheart, he's busy." Daniel stood, smiling genuinely this time. "Actually, I was hoping you'd come back." The little girl's eyes widened. "You were?" He nodded and gestured to the cookies. "I got your favorite." "You were right, they really do make people happy." She gasped and clapped her hands. "You tried them?" Her mother hesitated, but Daniel motioned toward the seats. "Please join me. I could use some company." They sat down together, the powerful CEO and the little girl with her rabbit. The mother, Claire, was polite but guarded at first. She told him she worked part-time at the flower shop nearby, raising her daughter alone. Daniel listened, truly listened. He found himself asking questions, not out of politeness, but because he wanted to know more. It felt strange and wonderful at the same time. When the hot chocolate arrived, the little girl dunked her cookie into it and said, "You smile more now." Daniel chuckled softly. "I guess I had a good teacher." Her mother smiled too, watching how gently he spoke, how carefully he listened to her daughter. He didn't seem like the cold businessman people whispered about in the news. When it was time for them to go, Daniel paid the bill quietly. Claire protested, but he said, "Please, let me. I owe her a cookie debt." The little girl giggled and hugged him before leaving. "Bye, Mr. Daniel." "Don't be sad anymore, okay?" He crouched down to her height and smiled, a smile that reached his eyes this time. "I'll try, sweetheart." As they left, Daniel remained seated, looking at the empty chairs across from him. For months, that space had felt like a wound, a reminder of everything he'd lost. But now, it held something different. A small voice, a kind smile, a reason to look forward to tomorrow. And as the rain began to fall again outside, Daniel Hayes, the lonely CEO, took another sip of coffee. And for the first time in a year, it didn't taste bitter.